There are many mysterious stories about the famous US highway Route 66, but the incident you will hear today is based on a real incident. The incident happened one night in the winter of 2019. A 28-year-old young man, Daniel, lived in a small town in the state of Arizona, USA. One evening after finishing office work, he took his car and left for the nearby town. Black clouds in the skid was accumulated. Blizzard warnings were given in the weather forecast. As the night wore on, the road became more and more deserted. It was 1 a.m. on the clock. Suddenly, the engine of the car started making strange noises. After a while, the car came to a complete stop. Daniel stopped the car on the side of the road and tried to call for help. But surprisingly, there was no signal on his phone. All around is darkness and cold, the wind. Just then, he saw the sign of an old hotel in the distance. The signboard read in faint light, "Moonlight Inn." Seeing no other option, he started walking towards the hotel. The hotel looks like something out of an old movie from the 1970s. An old woman was sitting at the reception. Daniel wanted to rent a room. The old woman looked at him for a while. Then he slowly said, "Room number 13 is empty." "There is." Daniel took the room key and went upstairs. The room was strangely cold. It looked like the window was open, but all the windows are closed. He fell asleep around 2 a.m. and suddenly there was a knock at the door. He woke up and opened the door. But there is no one outside. He thought it might be the sound of the wind. Went to sleep again. After a few minutes again, sour, sour, sour. This time the sound is louder. Even after opening the door, no one was seen. But at the end of the corridor saw a little girl standing. Wearing white clothes, head down, Daniel called out, "Hey, what are you doing here?" The girl did not answer. Slowly went into the darkness of the corridor. Thorns rose through Daniel's body. He closed the door, but just then his eyes fell on an old picture hanging on the wall. In the picture, some people are standing in front of the hotel. Among them was the little girl. Below the picture, write 1984 staff and guests. Daniel's chest heaved. The picture is about 35 years ago. So who did he see? He fell asleep in fear. He waited for morning, but the night is still long. Suddenly, the sound of water started coming from the bathroom. He opened the door and saw red-colored water is flowing from the faucet. After a few seconds, everything is normal. Daniel decided to rush to the reception. "Come down, so." "Reception is empty. No one?" An old guest register opened on the counter. He started looking at the notebook curiously. Suddenly his own name came into view, Daniel Carter. But the date was October 12th, 1984. His breath stopped. How is that possible? He came here in 2019. Just then, a voice was heard from behind. "Why didn't you leave?" Daniel turned around. That old lady. But this time his face different. The eyes are completely black. An unusual smile on the face. The old woman said, "Everyone comes here, but no one can leave." Suddenly, the lights of the entire hotel went out. Darkness all around. Daniel ran out. He started running towards the road. Numerous voices were coming from behind. Someone is calling him, but he never looked back. Finally fell unconscious on the side of the road. The next morning, a highway patrol team rescued him. After regaining consciousness, he told them everything. The police officers looked at each other in surprise. Then one said, "That hotel was destroyed by fire in 1984. Daniel is shocked. "Impossible. I spent the night there." The police took him to the spot, but there was no hotel there, only charred ruins and a rusted signboard where it is written, Moonlight Inn, and the bottom is smaller in letters, closed, since 1984. Daniel never returned to that part of Route 66 after that day, but even today some lost people on a stormy night can see a lighted hotel in the distance. And those who enter there, many of them never come back. Daniel thought the nightmare of that night was over forever. But he was wrong. Almost 2 years have passed since that incident in 2019. Yet when he woke up in the middle of the night, he would have the same dream. A long corridor, old pictures hanging on the wall, and that little girl in the white dress. Every time the girl said the same thing, "They're still waiting." After waking up, Daniel's body would be drenched in sweat. One day he decided the truth must know. He started looking for Moonlight Inn on the internet. A few days later, I found an old newspaper report. The report read, on October 12, 1984, a terrible fire broke out at the Moonlight Inn at 2 a.m. 17 guests and staff were killed, but the strange thing is, seeing a name on the list of the dead made Daniel's blood run cold. Daniel Carter, just his own name. He repeats the list reads same name, same surname. Is it a coincidence or something else? He contacted a local history researcher in Arizona to find out the truth. The researcher's name was Michael Henderson. He fell silent after hearing Daniel's words. Then he slowly said, "You are not alone." Michael showed him some old files. There were descriptions of at least 11 people in the last 30 years. They all claimed they are the Moonlight Inn on a stormy night saw. Someone stayed one night, some a few hours, but everyone saw the same thing. Little girl in white dress, black-eyed old lady, and guest registration book of 1984. Daniel's head turned. Just then, Michael pulled out another picture, a blurry picture, taken a few hours before the fire. Daniel stared at the picture and froze. There was a young man in the crowd of people standing in front of the hotel. Looks exactly like him. Same face, the eyes, even the same beard type. Daniel said with a trembling voice, "Who is it?" Michael replied, "We don't know, but the picture is from 1984. Daniel came home that night and started thinking about the film. Suddenly, he got a message from an unknown number on his phone. Only 3 words were written. "Come back tonight." A location below that, Route 66, ruins of the Moonlight Inn. Daniel dropped the phone in panic, but after a few seconds, the message came again. "She is waiting." Just then, the lights in his room flashed a few times, and outside the window, across the street, he saw that little girl in white is standing, head down, not moving, and slowly. He looked up at Daniel. His eyes are completely black. Looking at the girl standing outside the window, Daniel's body froze. He blinked only once, and then the girl disappeared. There is no one across the street, only the cold wind is blowing. Daniel could no longer understand. Is he really seeing these things, or is he slowly going crazy? The next morning, he met Michael Henderson again. Michael gathered some more documents for him. An old cop report, fire investigation report. Daniel flipped through the papers and suddenly saw a name. Emily Ross, age 8. His chest heaved. A small image was attached to the file. White dress, long black hair. Same girl, the one he saw in the corridor. Michael said, "Emily was the youngest victim to die in the fire." Daniel stared at the picture. He felt as if he had seen this face somewhere before. Right then, Michael shared another information. The cause of the fire was never determined. Officially, it was called an accident, but the natives believed it wasn't an accident. The fire was deliberately set by someone, and the identity of that person is still unknown. That night, Daniel returned home and was reading the files. Suddenly, an old yellow paper slipped in from under his door. He quickly opened the door. There is no one outside. He opened the paper. Breathing stopped. It was an old room receipt from the Moonlight Inn. Room number 13. Guest name, Daniel Carter. Date, October 12th, 1984. But the most terrifying thing was a sentence written below. "You came back. You're back." That night, Daniel decided he will go back to Route 66. All mysteries will come to an end. Around 11 p.m., he left with the car. Storm clouds in the sky. That night, exactly 2 years ago, shortly after midnight, he arrived at the ruins of the Moonlight Inn. There is no one around. Nothing is visible except burnt bricks and broken walls. But when the clock struck 2 a.m., suddenly the wind stopped. All sound stopped. Then slowly, a building began to appear in place of the ruins. First, the signboard, then the window light, then the whole hotel. The Moonlight Inn stood again. It's like back in 1984 has arrived. Daniel's hands were shaking, but this time, he did not run away. He slowly walked towards the main door. The door opened by itself. As soon as he entered, he saw the old lady is sitting at the reception. But this time, the old woman smiled and said, "Welcome, Daniel. We've been waiting for you for 42 years. Daniel's heart pounded. 42 years? But I'm only 30. The old woman replied, no, just pointed to an old door. On the door was written, "Basement, basement." Just then, Emily appeared at the end of the corridor, but now he spoke. His voice was a whisper. "The truth lies beneath." Then he slowly went down the stairs to the basement. Daniel took a deep breath and followed him. He knew. Under those stairs lies the Moonlight Inn's darkest secret. Part 3 and 4 will reveal what's inside the basement and what Daniel's true connection to the 1984 incident is.